Right now, there's a global race happening. It's not for gold or land, but for something that could be way more powerful: artificial superintelligence. A lot of people see this as the defining challenge of our lifetime. The thinking goes, whoever wins controls the future. But what if winning is actually the most dangerous outcome of all? And this isn't just some hypothetical question anymore. It's a debate that is getting very real, very fast.
And look, this isn't science fiction. This quote is from a 2024 report to the US Congress, and it is explicitly calling for a Manhattan Project for AI. The idea is gaining traction in Washington, and it's all built on this feeling that this is a race we have to run, and more importantly, a race we have to win.
And you can see why the logic feels so powerful, right? The argument is that the first country to develop a true ASI gets an unbeatable military edge. They can secure their dominance, protect their values, and basically call the shots. From that point of view, not racing feels like giving up the future to your rivals. But what if that whole line of thinking is a trap? A new paper is challenging this entire premise with a really powerful paradox. It asks a crucial question. What if the very reasons we think we have to race are the same reasons that a race will inevitably end in ruin for everyone, including the winner? This brings us to the core idea of this new analysis, something it calls the Manhattan Trap. And what's so clever about this paper is that instead of just arguing against the pro-race case from the outside, it does something else. It performs an internal critique. It basically says, okay, we'll accept your assumptions. Now let's see where they actually lead. So to put it simply, the Manhattan Trap is this paradox. The exact same assumptions that make you think an ASI race is essential are also the ones that make it a catastrophic danger. So let's break down exactly what those assumptions are. The whole pro-race argument really hangs on two big ideas. First, decisive military advantage, the belief that ASI gives you power on par with or even greater than nuclear weapons. The second is that countries are rational actors. They're smart, they want to survive, and they understand the stakes. So the paper's authors say, fine, we'll grant you both of those. Let's follow that logic all the way to its conclusion. And where does that logic lead? Well, it turns out it creates three massive existential dangers. The paper describes them as three barriers that any country trying to win this race has to get over. But as we're about to see, the logic of the race itself makes these barriers almost impossible to clear. So you have these three hurdles, and you have to clear all of them to win safely. First up is the geopolitical hurdle. You gotta avoid a massive war. Then there's the technical hurdle. You have to avoid losing control of the ASI itself. And finally, there's an ideological one. You have to avoid